All right. Okay.
Here we go, everybody. It begins in 3, 2, 1.
Frozen fudgies, what a treat! Lots of chocolate, really sweet, full of taffy, raisin, and nuts that melt in your mouth and turn to lead in your guts.
Mmm, gross. I can hear those crystals vibrating.
This is the morning stream. We're gonna need a new plan.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back, or two for the first time, the morning stream. It's Tuesday, June 16th, 2020. I'm Scott Johnson. I am here with Brian Ibbett.
Hello, and I'm here with Grimace.
Grimace, the purple-haired...
The purple pie man who's going to get strawberry shortcake if it's the last thing he does.
What was Grimace anyway? What was he? Was he a dinosaur? Was he a lump
He's
goo?
what you look like if you eat a shake every day, a McDonald's shake every day.
Wow.
Your entire life.
That's
you look like Grimace.
That's intense. Well, for those at home listening going, what the frick are they talking about? Kim talked me into coloring my hair. So she said, hey, you should go purple like me and we'll match. We'll be a matching married set. And I said, maybe. And then later I just asked the internet and they all said, oh, you should do it. And then all my blue-haired and red-haired fans at Blizzard who work at Blizzard said, oh, you have to do this. You have to do this.
That's the one of us. Okay, I saw the one of us. One of us.
Yeah, so they were like all for it. And so I decided, all right, final straw, I'll let her do it. So she colored my hair. She's purple. I am purple. We are all purple now.
Nice.
Brian, now all you have to do is do that goatee and mustache, and we're in. Do it.
Do that. Well, I did the goatee before.
Oh, right. I forgot. You did do that. That's right.
Yeah.
What was the deal with it? I forget what color you did. I can't remember now.
It was purple.
Oh,
it was
okay.
purple. It just it was a semi-permanent, so it lasted about a week, and it did not go as dark as I would have liked it to. I wanted it to be a lot more prominent.
Yeah.
So to do it next time, I have to completely bleach, and then do the purple so that it's more prominent and more.
Well, that's what a bunch of people told me. They said if you want this to really stick, you have to bleach your hair first, then color it. But I think with a darker purple like this, I think that would have been dumb because my hair is already kind of blonde, brown, gray anyway. So I don't think I needed to bleach for what I was doing. But if I was going to go really light, like a pink or something, or a light blue or something,
then you definitely have to do it. Yeah.
Then you gots to bleach.
Right.
That's
right.
the root.
Yeah, your hair color is already light as it is, so
Yeah.
you wouldn't have needed to do that.
So I can't. For me, it just looks. I don't know. It just doesn't look purple, but I guess it does to everybody else. So I can't tell on this camera.
It's really weird. I mean, I don't know what you're seeing if it doesn't look purple to you. It just looks.
I don't know. I got these tinted glasses on. Let's see. No, still. I don't know. My screen's a little less bright because I don't know. I turned it down. So
Well,
maybe
what
it just
about a
looked
mirror, Scott? Maybe looking in a mirror as opposed to relying on Logitech and Zoom to provide you an accurate representation of your appearance.
I hadn't thought of that. I'm going to look in a mirror later. That's a great idea. That's an excellent suggestion. All right. Before we get going here, I did want to follow up on another. So I'm over here doing like a total midlife crisis kind of move, getting my hair colored. I'd like to know how Brian's old guy sleep stuff is working out for him. So
Old guy sleep.
you got
stuff.
your concoction, your weird mix of things. Did it work?
It appeared to, yes. It helped a little bit. So, based on some recommendations from folks, I checked out this GRC. Let me pull it up here because it was by the guy who was on
Steve Gibson, right? Or yes,
Steve Gibson.
Steve Gibson.
Yes.
He's
Not
their,
to be confused with William Gibson.
Yeah, Steve Gibson, the security, IT security expert, and also apparently sleep expert.
That's right. Well, I believe it now. Yes.
Yeah.
I would totally believe it.
Yeah.
He has this thing called the Healthy Sleep Formula where he combines niacinamide with melatonin and oleamide to help not fall asleep, but just maintain sleep. That's the big thing for me is basically, I have no problem falling asleep. Can do it anywhere, anytime.
Right. It's staying there. It's staying.
It's the staying asleep.
Yeah.
And this thing is supposed to like kind of give you a smooth through the night kind of sleep thing, but it takes some adjustment, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. The last piece of the puzzle, the oleamide, arrived yesterday, and that's a powder, and it's a very interesting powder. It's kind of granular, like cream of wheat or malto meal. You know that?
Ugh.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a pill. It's a.
So it's like a.
So what
thicker,
you got to do is you got to put it in something and let it dissolve, and
it'd be all pasty if you put just a little water in it, right? That kind of.
Yeah, if you
thing?
put too little water in it, it would be totally pasty.
Yeah, nobody wants pasty.
So you kind of got to let it mix in with a little bit of tea or water or whatever, and you basically start at a low level dosage of each of the three things, or even skipping the melatonin. You can eliminate the melatonin, which I'm going to do because I don't want it to make my body stop producing melatonin.
Yeah.
So that one I'm gonna eliminate. But the niacinamide and the oleamide, you kind of start with low doses and then just kind of increase the niacinamide, and then you increase the oleamide once you've got the niacinamide where it needs to be.
Those all sound like real words to me, so I'd sound good.
Yeah, if you do a search for grc.com/health/sleep, I guess is where he's got it. Or just if you search GRC healthy sleep formula, that's probably the best way to find this.
Yeah, and if you
this
find
article that he wrote,
if you end up bumping into like a GeoCities ass looking webpage,
exactly,
you found
yes.
it.
You'll know you're in the right place.
Yeah, you know it's the right website we're talking about.
Right.
Well, I'm curious how it ends up going for you. You should get a T-shirt that says, I know how to take the sleep reservation. I just don't know how to keep the sleep reservation. Or no, how would that go? Anyway, it was a Seinfeld. It's a Seinfeld reference, everybody.
I know where you're going. Yeah, it's the Chinese restaurant. You know how to take this. I don't know the reservation part is the problem.
No, it's the car reservation episode where he's going to get the car.
Right.
And they lost his reservation, and he goes, see, you know how to take the reservation.
Yes, that's right.
You just don't know how to keep the reservation. That's the trick. Oh, what a good episode. You're making me want to watch Seinfeld. All right. Well, keep us informed on your sleeping.
Yeah, we'll do.
Yeah.
I'll keep adjusting until I find the right formula, the right mix, the right balance.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
And then we'll see where it goes.
All right.
So I get it now. You're playing off of the I know how to fall asleep. I just don't know how to stay asleep.
I couldn't figure out the words though. It wasn't working. And if you don't have enough of the word reservation in there, people aren't going to get the reference.
No,
and then
I didn't
crazy.
Until it just dawned on me. He's like, oh, that's where he was going.
It's like, who's this purple-head idiot, is what they'd say. All right, we got a really sweet email that was both sad and also kind of sweet. And I wanted to read it, okay? So I don't know if free hotel room's in the chat room or not, but you may want to tune this one out, okay? This is from Vinny DeStefano. If that name sounds familiar, you'll understand here in a second. His subject is my mom's clip. And when I saw this, I went, oh, what is this? And he says this. Hi, guys. Not even sure if this is still your guys' email. It is. Mm-hmm. Today has been a tough day for me as my mom passed away due to a torn artery. She survived the surgery to repair the artery, but ultimately lost the battle of other functions not working properly after that fact. The worst part of all of this is because of the COVID situation. The last time I saw my mom was back in March. It tears me up to even more that she did not get to see her 3-year-old granddaughter, as she has not seen her since March either. My dad was the only one allowed in the hospital during the 3 weeks she was there, and we thought she was slowly recovering due to more tubes being taken out. She was 67 years old. I had been crying all day with my family, trying to make sense of all of this, the anger, the sadness, the pain. We started to talk about the good things about her, how she was fun-loving, caring, and treated every person she met like they were family. He goes on to say this, and this is where we come in. One of the things that I was thinking about all day was that clip I'd sent you guys for TMS about a few years ago, the Star Trek Adventure video we did from Universal Studios. I remember seeing Scott's Twitter with GIFs and clips of the "this is so bad, it's good" ridiculousness, and I was cracking up knowing I had triggered something. Then I listened to TMS the next day and heard the familiar voice in the intro, "Let's test the ship's phasers." I had to pause and rewind the thing. Did I hear what I think I just heard? And I was dying laughing. Then you guys went on a tangent about the clip itself, and we were in tears laughing. I knew I had to share this with my mom. I played the clip for her, and she was so tickled by it and laughing. She thought she was internet famous and talked about it for the next few days. It really brightened her day and spirits back then. I don't know why I'm writing this email or why I'm telling you guys this, Maybe it's just to bring, maybe it's just me trying to cope with what's going on. But maybe it's the fact that memory is something that has always stuck out in my mind, or that memory, and makes me think of the fond memories of my mom. I appreciate what you guys do to bring joy to people's lives every day. Love the show, though. Vinny. So, Vinny, of course we remember, and it's one of the greatest things ever.
It is. It totally is. One of my favorite clips that we play on this show.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to play it right now, just in memory of your mom. Now, the reason I love this is not just because it's funny and not just because it's a little awkward. And the video we had that we captured it from is you when you're young and your parents doing their best to like be super Star Trek-y during this thing where they take video of you up on the bridge doing stuff. What I always liked about it, because it's all those things and it's funny and it's great. And you guys obviously know that too. But what really stood out about it to me was I could tell just looking at it. This was a mom who really cared about what her son was into.
Yep.
This was a mom willing to dress up in Star Trek uniform and say those words when it's really not her jam, because she really cared about what you cared about, and that was meaningful and transcends all of this. So I'm going to play it right now.
Let's test the ship's phasers.
I just want to say your mom was rad, and I'm really sad for your loss, especially given those COVID restrictions, because that freaking sucks.
Oh, it totally does.
And what a cool mom. And we're gonna have that. We're gonna cherish that clip for a very long time, because it's just one of the. It's really a sweet thing.
Your mom will continue to be internet famous.
Yes, at least in our little sphere.
At least
here.
in TMS internet land.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, whatever level of famous that is. But anyway, Vinny, we feel for you, dude, and
love you, and we thank you for sending that in, and it brightened our day as much as it brightened hers to hear how much we loved it.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. All right. Now on to a dumb thing, okay? Something that's dumb. I got a thumbs up from a lady yesterday, and here's why.
Okay. She Roger Eberted your movie? She liked your movie?
She double Eberted me. She gave me the two thumbs, and she lifted her
double
arms
Ebert.
up.
Okay.
Like, did this kind of thing with her hands, which you don't get this very often in life, where someone does
and
this.
For our listeners, it's the elbows out, two thumbs up, like you're about to pound your fists against each other with your thumbs up.
Yep, that's exactly right. So she's just like this. And the reason I got that particular gesture from this woman is because I was out in front of her front yard walking my dog, Boomer in this case. I wasn't walking Rainer. And Boomer, when she poos, it's a big deal, right? It's like a four alarm freaking deal.
It's a very involved process from the way you've described it.
She's a big dog. And a bigger dog, I should say. Rainer has these little tiny ones, are no big deal, but Boomer likes to leave. She likes to leave more than she takes. And so anyway, we're out in front of this person's yard, and I saw her in the window as I was waiting for the dog to do her business, and she's standing in the window, kind of like the Bates Motel mom in the window, just kind of a dark shadow of staring out in the yard sort of thing.
Yeah. Right.
And so I notice her, but I'm thinking not much of it. And I'm waiting for Boomer to do her thing. She does her thing. I get out the little bag. I reach down, I pick it up, and I do the bag thing. And then as I'm coming up with the bag and tying it off, my glance gazes once again at this window, this big, what do you call it?
Stained glass?
No, there's
bay
a word.
Window?
Bay window, there you go. It's like a big front bay window. And I start to look up into this bay window, and she's there, but now she's doing this. But both her thumbs up. Now, what that tells me is she thinks she was there really certain I wasn't going to do it and was elated that I did. She thought I was going to leave it, I think. Or she's had a problem with somebody leaving it, and this was her way of saying, well, thank you for not leaving it. I'm not actually sure why you would give me thumbs up from the window.
I think it's just the hey, I'm looking out. I caught you doing that. You're awesome. Good job. Just more like a thanks for doing it, as opposed to what may have happened before with other people.
Okay, I like that. I don't want to read too much into it, because if that's it, then that's just that's actually a nice gesture during this weird time, right?
Totally. Oh yeah,
you know.
Sure.
And I don't know who she is. She's a neighbor I don't know, and it's a little bit far from me, but where I walked. But I came away thinking I either did a good thing here today, and she's genuinely excited about it, or she's going, finally someone got the poo. Like, to me, it was one of those two. But maybe you're right. Maybe it's just her chilling and being, just being friendly about
I
me
think
doing the
so.
thing.
Yeah.
Because I did a nice gesture. I could have left that poo there. People do it.
Yeah, nobody. Yeah, jerks do that, Scott.
Jerks
Just
do it.
jerks.
I know. Jerks do it. Jerks don't
What is
pick
your
up their poo.
feeling on the people? So when I'm riding my bike, I'll occasionally see the poo left in a bag on the side of the road, on the side of the bike path, which often, as I hope it means, that they are on the way out for a walk. The dog poops. They put the poop in a bag and they put the bag on the side so they're not carrying it with them the whole way
Okay.
until they come back. I
they-
hope that's what it means and not, well, I put it in a bag. I did my part. Somebody else will come along and put this in a.
So do you guys
In a
not
trash
have
can.
along that trail? Do you not have like stations where they have like a city provided?
Not on the bike trail that I was on where I saw these. Like I saw 3 or 4
Interesting.
left it, and they were all the same color green bag, which I think either means they were walking multiple dogs, or they were walking a dog that had a Taco Bell combo platter.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe it's the riders, man. Maybe the rider was like,
I think it was another cyclist is like, well, right here's good.
yeah, right here's where
And
I
then
do
put
it.
in a bag and
Yeah.
sure.
And in that case, I thank them for putting it in a bag.
Yeah, I mean, putting it in a bag it's like 75% of the way to what you need to do,
Yeah,
right? It's
I
like
agree.
you've assembled it into a nice compact container, and if somebody else is coming by there and they happen to be able to pick it up and put in a trash can, that's good. Or if you pick it up on your way back because it's like, oh, the trash cans are all behind me.
Right.
I'm just going to get it on the way back and pick them all up and throw them in the trash. So
Right.
that's what I'm hoping the case is. But
Yeah, I wonder.
we just walk with the bag. I mean, it's
So do I. Walk the bag back home. It's no big deal.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
okay if you don't have one of those cans. We had a trip where there was a can, but not somebody. People had just continued to pile in there, and it hadn't been emptied in a while, and I don't know why, but it was just packed. Like the lid's up. There's a giant pile. There's many bags on the ground around because they're not fitting anymore. And we looked at it and went, "Well, I can't add to that. Like,
Yeah.
what is that even?" So I took it home.
Was it you or somebody else that was telling me a story about picking up the poop in a bag or putting it in a bag, and then because it was trash day, one of the houses that they walked by still had their trash cans out, and I think the trash had already been picked up, but their trash can was still out in the front, and they
Yeah.
put the poo bag in there.
What's the decorum there? Is that what do you think about that? How do you feel about that move? You think that's
I'm all right with, like, if someone were to do that and they picked up the poop, put it in a bag, tied the bag shut,
yeah,
and then put it in the empty trash can, I think I'd be fine with that.
yeah, I think too. Me too.
But you heavily rely on the fact that they have tied that bag tight.
Right. It can't be like a loose knot or just wrapped
Yeah.
around itself or something like that. You got to tighten that thing up. I don't have a problem with that either.
Yeah.
That wouldn't bother me.
Yeah,
if somebody was
I
doing
don't
that.
think I'd have a problem with that.
Yeah. I've
But I think the person that they did it, that whose trash can they put in, had a problem with it.
I've never asked. I've never had a situation where I've been asked to do that, and I've never asked anyone else to do that. But we
Yeah.
did have a bunch of extra leaves limbs that we'd cut, and so we went and asked our neighbor if it was okay if we used his can. Was almost empty, and I'm like, ours is chock full and spilling out of the side. Can we use yours for this for these limbs? And he said yes. So always ask.
Cool.
I couldn't. I
Yeah.
would not feel good about just going out there and jamming limbs into his empty can, even if
No.
even if it was empty and who cares. It still seems like, I don't know. Seems like the right thing to do. Do the right thing is what we're saying.
Yeah, I think I would have a problem with somebody doing it, but I think I might have a problem being the person who does it. Just
Yeah.
because, especially if I don't know, if I knew the neighbor, I'd have no problem with it. But if I don't know the neighbor, I would.
Yeah,
kind of
crazy neighbor. Who cares, right? Go do it. Put it in his can.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
totally
you guys are
fine.
close enough where that's a shareable experience, and you just tease each other if you do it or whatever. But if
Right,
it's somebody you
yes,
don't know,
exactly.
but that is funny. There's so many things in my life where I don't care if someone does it to me,
Yeah,
but I would feel bad if I did it to
Yeah.
them.
yeah,
Which I
yeah.
don't.
I mean, it feels like it should be a permission issue,
yeah.
but it's one of those things like, you guys have blanket permission. As long as you seal the bag, your permission is granted. But
You should put a little sign. We'll put little laminated signs on our cans that say,
Feel free to put your dog's poop in this trash can as long as the knot is tied tight.
yeah, that's the rule. Live by the rules, die by the rules. Speaking of dogs, we got a message from Bruce Wayne.
And rules. Wow. Okay. This is funny. We were talking about what I should name my Swoobat in Pokemon, and Bruce
right.
Wayne came up.
Did you end up doing it? Did you name him?
I didn't. He's still Swoobat. I don't care.
Yeah. Well, look, if you don't care, don't name him. I wouldn't.
I'm not going to name my Pokemon.
If you care, maybe you name him. But if you don't care, all
Yeah, I
right.
don't-
Here's what Bruce Wayne says. He says, "I'm a bit of an animal expert." Just kidding. He can say, and it says, "I can say without any equivocation that dogs do remember their owners, and the smell will trigger deep, powerful emotions in dogs. But cats are just dicks and don't care one way or the other."
Wow.
That's
A bit
the
of
word.
a bit of a biased animal expert, I'd say he is.
Yeah. Also, he doesn't get into his credentials. I don't know what makes you an animal expert, other than if you're a vet or I don't know, they're animal
Right.
psychologists.
He doesn't give an explanation as to what makes him an animal expert. Like I'm a veterinarian or I'm a animal behaviorologist or something like that. But
I mean, okay.
he kind of is right. I mean, if they're going to be one of the domestic pets that remembered owners and their smells, it would be dogs. And if another one was a dick, it would be a cat. So I think it's
close. Like I've never felt Carter's cat was here all weekend with Carter because Carter helped her sister tear carpet up and put flooring in. And so we had her cat every day for 3 days while we had the baby. And the cat he just manages himself. But I'm 100% positive the cat does not care if he ever sees me again. And when he sees me, he doesn't care. He doesn't care.
Right. It's more like, oh, hey, you have food?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you. Do you have food? Is
Yeah,
what
do you
I'm
have
asking.
food?
I remember you. Do you have food?
I'm not here to greet you again. I'm just saying, is there food here? If not, then F off. So maybe bad cat, says the chat. Maybe. But when we had a cat named Link that ended up, we don't know what happened to him. We think he got stolen. Which is weird because he was an indoor cat and he never went outside. I don't know what happened to him. Anyway, if Carter's in the chat, she'll remember Link. But Link was this amazing kitty who just seemed to love everybody. Like there was a real sense that this cat loved being on your lap, loved being with you. When you'd come in the room, he'd purr. It wasn't just about food. So I think there are always exceptions, right? There might be examples of cats that are dicks. Deckard Cain, the cat that Carter owns, is kind of a dick to everybody but Carter. Mm-hmm. He loves her. And even then, you know, he'd probably eat you if there was no food. That's just the kind of cat it is.
How many days would she wait is the question. It's not a matter of would she eat you. She would, but how many days would she wait?
Yeah, how many days are you going to sit and rot on the couch before the cat finally says, all right? And my dogs, too, would probably, you know, like Rainer. Rainer has got really strong attachment to me and loves me and I love her and she's great and all that. But if I'm sitting on the couch and I died 3 days ago and I'm starting to smell a little ripe, and she's got no food, no one to feed her, and nobody has come to find my rotting corpse, she's probably going to eat me. Now, here's the truth. If we were living in Mad Max times, Brian, and the dog was, let's say, even if the dog wasn't going to die.
The Road Warrior's pet dingo that he travels with?
Well, I mean, in that case, that was an optimistic look at what somebody would do with their dog, but most people to survive would probably eat the freaking dog. I'm not saying I would. I don't want to be in that position ever. But at some point, survival kicks in, and you got to do your thing, right? Anyway, it's kind of a morbid thing to be thinking about.
Gotta eat. Wow, this got dark.
It did get a
We
little
went
dark.
from dogs remember you, cats are dicks, to I'm gonna eat your dog.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna eat my dog.
We've come a long way, getting from there to here. All right. Anyway, now time for this.
This is the info we've been waiting for.
Time for the news, brought to you by.
Scott, give us that Mortal Kombat reminder again.
All right, I mentioned it yesterday at the end of the show. I'll mention it again today. What I'm looking for the reboot of Current Geek, which, by the way, I can probably hint the new name. It's called Current Geek Chronicles. And we're doing these deep dives into big topics. And one of them is the seismic changes in the video game world in the early 90s with the advent of Mortal Kombat, not only in arcades, but especially when it was coming home to consoles. At the time, Genesis and Super Nintendo.
Oh, God, all that hubbub about the kids, like, learning the finisher, the fatalities. And oh my God, he just ripped that spine out. You're never playing this game again, Billy.
Yeah, there was a lot of that going on. The government held actual hearings on it. This was all before the ESRB, and we're going to dig deep into that. Basically, the episode's something akin to before E was for everyone, and specifically that time, that era, and specifically the Mortal Kombat thing. We're looking for people's stories of them when they were younger. If you were a kid then, even if you were an adult then, if you had any kind of thoughts, feelings, stories around that mess, we want to hear them and literally hear them. I want to get voice memos from you. All right, so I want to
hear them, and I really want to hear them.
And the truth is, if you'd rather just call the voice line and leave it there, we can use those. They're just not as good a quality, but you can use those 801-471-0462 and leave a voicemail, or send a voice memo from your phone, your smartphone. Doesn't matter what kind you have. Just email it after you've recorded it. It can be long, short. We're gonna just take them and use what we can. Send them to scott@frogpants.com. Okay, I need it. Yeah. I need these, and I really want to hear your voices. Okay.
And I've got to say, I got a little sneak preview listen on one of your episodes.
Oh, you did you?
And I did.
Oh, I'll bet you it's a certain editor.
I'm not going to say how I got a little listen to it, but
which one was it? Can you tell me if it was the wrestling thing or was it?
It was the wrestling one, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. He's very proud of that so far, which he should.
He should be, because it's very, very good. Yes.
It's going to be great. We're going to kickstart the season soon. All that stuff's coming. More news soon, but we need your help with that episode. We're already like in production ahead of schedule, so we can launch this thing soon. So anyway, help us out. That address again is scott@frogpants.com, or any other way you want to contact me. That'd be great. Okay.
I
want to thank Shane for this article. Listener of the show sent this one in. Here's our first news story of the day. It's this. Men hired for sexual fantasy broke into the wrong house. I love this.
And I'm sure that it went a lot like, hi, we're here to fix the fix the cable. I didn't request somebody fix the cable. Oh, well then how are you going to pay for this visit? It's probably like it probably went a long way before it was like, oh, no, we really are on the wrong one.
Yeah, you're really in the wrong one. Well, there's an opportunity here for an accent if you want to use it, but here we go.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Please tell me it's it's Australian.
It is Australian. Russian. It's your favorite. So really, you could start any accent; it will devolve into a Russian or to an Australian one. Right. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can start wherever you want, and it'll end up there. Anyway,
hello, we're here to fix the cable.
So good. All right, here's how it went. One of them is now being acquitted. Yeah, it says acquitted of entering home armed with a weapon in 2009, according to an Australian media report. They've been hired.
Your Honor, this is not a knife.
It's not a knife. This is a sexual aid. They had been hired to carry out a client's fantasy of being tied up in his underwear and stroked with a broom. Now, when they say stroked over there, I think they mean like hit with it, like strikes.
Oh, really? Okay, struck with a broom.
Yeah, like they're not attacking with what is it, D&D? Non-lethal. It's a non-lethal attempt, but I think that's what they mean when they say stroked with a broom. Anyway,
cast evasion, cast.
Yeah, what's your perception? Oh, okay.
That's right, perception check. Yeah,
it's low.
Roll a perception check.
The judge concluded the facts of the case are unusual. The role play was arranged over Facebook by a man near Griffin, near South Wales, who provided his address to the hired pair. He was willing to pay $5,000 Australian if it was really good, says the judge.
But it better be really good.
It better be good. I'm not interested if it's not good.
Talking an OC to broom. No cheap off the rack broom.
It needs to be made of wood and full of splinters. He was willing to pay that money, said the judge. However, the client moved to another address, so about 30 miles away, without updating the two men after he made the arrangement. That seemed like a dumb idea. Anyway, they then entered the home on the street with the original address. When the resident noticed the light on his kitchen at 6:15 a.m., he assumed it was a friend who came by came by daily for coffee. The guy he has a friend that did that all the time.
Okay.
When the men called out the name of their client, the resident turned on the light and removed a sleep apnea mask he was wearing.
This is a detailed writing here from the BBC.
Yeah, he's walking around with his freaking apparatus on. That's great.
That's right.
It was then that he saw standing over his bed with machetes. They use machetes as like part of their deal.
Yeah.
They also brought they brought his props to be part of the role play. When they realized their error, one of the pair said, "Sorry, mate," and shook the resident's hand, according to a local report. Hey, social distancing.
sticky?
What are you doing?
Yeah. Was it sticky?
Oh, I don't know. I hope not. It was all looby. It was looby.
Yeah.
When they realized their error, they did that. The two men then drove to the correct address where the client noticed one man had a great big knife in his trousers and asked them to leave their weapons in the car.
Is that a knife in your trousers, or you just? Oh, it's a knife. Oh yeah, leave it in the car, please.
Everyone says, it's all U.S. and like Florida weirdos in the world. No, you guys are a little weird in Australia.
You know what? Everybody's got their kink.
Sure.
Everybody's got their kink.
And we're
Some
not here
people
to
like
shame
brooms.
it. Yeah, you
I
do.
like mops personally.
Oh, you like to be stroked with a mop? Is that what you're saying?
Stroke me with a mop. Yes.
That was a great old song. Stroke
me with a mop. Stroke. Everybody, have you heard?
Hold on, don't tell me the name. Don't tell me.
Okay. All right.
That's oh my gosh.
William Squiring.
Oh, Squire. Billy Squire.
That's right. William Squirington III.
Squirington III. He indicates he would like me to stroke him. All right, moving on from that deal there.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. This is pretty weird. A Pennsylvania mom in Cookie Monster costume was arrested after ODing in a car outside her kid's babysitter's house.
Okay, hold on. We gotta
I
parse
know.
this out.
I know.
Right.
This is crazy.
All right.
Read that.
Pennsylvania mom in a Cookie. Okay, so she's a mom in a Cookie Monster costume.
Yep, she's in the costume.
She's in the costume. She OD'd in a car outside her kid's babysitter's house.
Yes.
Okay.
And by OD, they don't mean died. She overdosed, but she lived, and she was arrested in the state of being overdosed.
Gotcha. Okay. In a Cookie Monster costume.
In a Cookie Monster. That's the key here, in my opinion.
Yes.
Is the Cookie Monster
Yes.
costume. You have cookie?
C is for crack whore. It's good enough for me. Crack whore starts with C.
That's too good. Can we even keep... Are we even allowed to keep doing the show now? Is this... C is for crack whore. Crack whore is for me. All right. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start here. Let's see. Police. So it was a sad and bizarre sight. A mom passed out in her car of an apparent opioid overdose dressed as a Cookie Monster. Police said it happened right after the mom, identified as Rachel Love Martin, age 38, had dropped off her 9-year-old child with autism with a babysitter in West Newton. According to a TV report in Pittsburgh, criminal complaint states, police arrived at the babysitter's house, finding the child wearing no shoes or socks and with just a pair of pants and a t-shirt. It was only 43 degrees out that day.
Oh, jeez.
That's Fahrenheit, Europeans, so it's cold, okay?
Yeah.
Not hot.
Yeah.
It sounds hot to you, but it's not.
It's not hot.
It's not hot. The same officer allegedly found Martin slumped over the wheel of her car that was still running, wearing a blue Cookie Monster costume. First responders were called, and Martin was given Narcan. Is that like a probably a reversal drug or something?
It's like the stuff they give you to probably ease you out of it, or at least to, I don't know, like what's the, like methadone kind of thing where it
Oh, right. Except probably more like a... Oh, you know what it's probably like? It's like an EpiPen, but for drugs. It's like a reversal.
Right. Yeah, there we go. It reverses opioid overdose, anti-overdose.
That's cool. If I was an opioid addict, and I'm not, but if I was, I'd think about carrying one of those. I'd think about carrying a can of Narcan with me.
You know, it's funny. It just dawned on me. We were talking about Narcan this weekend when we had dinner with... George and Barb. Barb, by the way, really loves when I call her Aunt Barb. Oh, it's time to talk about Aunt Barb.
Does she listen to the show on here? Does she give us a
She does listen to the show, and we talked about Narcan. Because Tristan was talking about working in Walmart, and she says, well, do they have... Because He told us the story of a woman who OD'd in the Walmart bathroom, completely naked.
Oh, wow.
Because drugs are better when you have no clothes on, apparently, in
That's
the
what I've
Walmart
heard.
bathroom.
Yeah.
And she asked, "Well, do they have Narcan in each of the registers?" like it's, you pull open the drawer, and right next to the 10s and the 1s, there's a little shot of Narcan
Shot of
in case the
Narcan.
person in your aisle. So yes, we were
only
just
at
talking about
Walmart
Narcan.
though. Only Walmart would have that.
Only Walmart.
Yeah.
Yes.
No offense, Walmart. Let's see.
No, none whatsoever.
She was taken to an emergency room. She recovered. The police said that she appeared to overdose on heroin, but that's the same effects as, it's an opioid. So maybe she was actually, it may have been heroin because opioids technically include heroin. It's not always just pills. Anyway, Child and Youth Services placed the 9-year-old with her biological grandmother. Meanwhile, Martin faces child endangerment issues or charges for the case. As for why she was clad in the famous Sesame Street character outfit is unknown.
Yeah,
They're not sure. They don't know, Brian.
Interesting. She just happened to be just what I chose to wear today.
Yeah.
Well, so it sounds like not only is the mom kind of unfit, but the babysitter who had the kid was just wearing.
Well, it sounds like she
no
just dropped. It
socks
sounds like
and
the
it's
mom
43
just
degrees.
dropped her off like that. Is what it sounds like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it said she
so
had-
maybe it was the babysitter that actually called.
Oh, good point. Yeah, they don't say that here,
called-
but yeah, good point.
Mhm.
But she had just had just dropped off her 9-year-old kid there, which makes it sound like he was probably in that case.
I
as
mean,
they're
she just
saying.
could not get like, okay, Cookie just dropped.
Yeah, Cookie. If
Yeah,
I was gonna, if you were gonna, okay, let's just say,
What Sesame Street character would you dress up as to have a heroin overdose in a
Yes.
car in front of your babysitter?
just for a minute, we'll put ourselves in her shoes, and you have a whole wardrobe full of possibilities and choices. Which of the Muppet outfits do you wear, if you had to?
I think it would be Elmo. Well, no, I think the appropriate answer, if it's going to be heroin, I've got to dress as Animal.
Oh yeah,
If it's cocaine, Elmo. If it's marijuana, Dr. Teeth. If it's ecstasy, I
Gonzo.
think Janice.
Oh, Janice. All right. If you really OD, Gonzo, because that's kind of funny.
Right, you really are D. Gonzo.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
I think I would be. I'm kind of a Grover guy. I think I'd be Grover.
For which one? Heroin.
Just any of them. I'd just be Grover.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grover fits all.
All right.
In my opinion.
I think it depends. It really depends.
Yeah. Grover wears the pants.
Acid would be Grover for me.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're dropping acid. Just imagine.
Oh, that's
him.
true. Floyd is the pothead. This is true. Yeah, you really could just make it all of the members of Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem Band, right?
That's
I
true.
mean,
That's true.
Dr. Teeth would be the Shroomer. Animal would be Coke. Janice, I think Janice might be the Shroomer. Floyd's definitely the pot.
Floyd's
Pothead.
pot. Yeah, Janice does shrooms. Who's so who does Dr.
Dr.
What does
Teeth.
Doc-
So Dr. Teeth maybe would be the man, what would he be? What's like the
He'd be-
he's modeled after Dr. John, the jazz.
I'd almost
pianist
say
Dr.
meth
John.
just because of the teeth. Because teeth.
That's a good point.
You know?
Right. They're all replaced.
Yeah.
So
he's got a new set of chompers because of the little meth he
oh
took.
my god.
He's a
And
meth.
This feels like a shirt that would be great, but we'd probably get sued for, which would be like, just pictures of all the Muppets and what drug they were on. It would be
Yeah,
hilarious.
it would be.
But there's no way that we would ever be able to produce this shirt.
We probably couldn't sell the shirt, but I certainly could draw it, and nobody could do a damn thing about it because it'd be parody.
Right.
See, problem
Right,
is I have such beloved feelings for the Muppets.
I know,
I'd feel bad.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'd feel guilty. All right.
I
Well,
wouldn't feel as guilty. I'll tackle it.
You'll do it. All right. All right. Brian will take this one on. It's a new pet project. Okay. Hey, you watched Arrow, right? That was the thing
I
you
did.
did. Okay. Did you watch it all the way through?
I actually watched it all the way through just to get closure. I was done with it about a season and a half ago.
Yeah.
Their final half season, and then the season before it.
Oh, that's right. They did.
It
a
became
short
the
thing.
Felicity show. They should have just called it Felicity, but I guess they already had a show called Felicity.
Green Felicity. I like it. Well, Felicity's old now, right? That came out in like.
Yeah, Carrie Russell Felicity.
Yeah, wasn't that pre?
'Cause
That was like pre-Alias, I think. Yeah.
That was J.J. Abrams' first deal, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think it was pre-Alias, so that would have been like late 90s? No.
It's definitely pre-Alias.
Is that late 90s? Hold on. Felicity. Air date.
1998.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
surprised. I thought it was earlier. I thought it was
Oh, you thought it was earlier than that? Interesting.
mid 90s, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised.
I never saw a single episode of it.
Oh, it was all right. It had Greg Grunberg in it. So his big deal. That's where they met.
Well, everything has Greg Grunberg in it.
Right, but he was the original, like, it's kind of like when Cliff was in the first Toy Story. It was like that was the day. That was when you knew he was going to be there forever. And he would just keep showing up in JJ projects after that. Except, was he not?
Oh, yeah,
in-
no kidding. So you got Kerry Russell as the bounty, or not bounty hunter. She's that, she's in the last, the
most.
Skywalker.
You mean the most underdeveloped character in the history of Star Wars? That one?
Pretty much, yes, exactly.
Lame.
And you got Greg Grunberg in Star Wars as well as,
Yeah.
a pilot.
Got shot down, didn't he? I think we're done with him now in Star Wars.
Oh, did he?
I think so.
Yeah.
I like Grunberg. He's cool.
I do too. I liked him up until he worked with me to be a celebrity interview guest on America's Next Top Podcaster, and then he bailed.
Oh, it's right. I forgot he bailed on that.
It wasn't really that he bailed. I think he just got busy and
He's a busy
you know,
guy.
the guy's doing a lot of stuff. Yeah, exactly.
He's got Star Wars to be in.
I hold no grudge against the Grunny.
The Grungeberg or
Grunny.
Grudgeberg.
I hold no grudgeberg against the Grunberg.
Grunny. All right.
Grunny. That's his nickname, Grunny.
Is it Grunny? Oh,
Yeah. His friends call him Grunny. I don't call him.
I was gonna
I'm
say
not a
you.
friend, apparently.
You and
Clearly.
you and Grunny are pals, are you?
Clearly, I'm not. Yeah.
I like that. All right. Well, here's the story that you'll like about your Arrow star, Stephen Amell. He's your main dude, right? He's the Arrow
Yes.
man himself.
Yeah.
He's accusing a neighbor of pooping on his roof. So there's that.
Pooping on. See, there's a question. Pooping on Stephen Amell's roof, or is the neighbor pooping on his own roof?
It's a bad headline, isn't it? It's bad.
It is. It's unclear.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's not a
All
good
right.
headline. I believe what it is that Stephen Amell, star
Such an
of
ugly
Arrow.
dude. I feel so bad for him because he's so homely.
He's such an ugly, wimpy,
He's like-
skinny, just an ugly guy.
I feel means like even making that joke because he's
He's the handsomest human being
like
on the
such
planet.
a nice guy. Yeah.
Anyway, the way it is, it's he's got a poop on his roof and you think his neighbor made it. And that is to say Arrow's roof. Anyway, there's perhaps nothing more relatable than having a neighbor you don't like. Don't we all know that? We've all been there. Just to ask Stephen Amell, the Arrow star went to social media this week to talk about issues he's having with the woman next door. Much less respectable, or relatable rather, are those issues because they're getting so bad to lead one neighbor to poop on the other's roof. You can ask Stephen Amell about that too. The actor has apparently been feuding with the neighbor in question for 3 years over what he claims is, quote, illegal construction, unquote. The illegal construction of a poo.
Exactly. You're making something with Lincoln logs up there.
Yeah, bad idea.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
You have soiled this city.
Yeah, and I'll take you out with my justice, or whatever his line is. Anyway, over Memorial Day, there was apparently some kind of altercation between his wife and her name's Cass and the mystery woman next door. And the next day, the neighbor allegedly snuck onto the property, climbed up on the roof, and took a dump. Wow. What do you even say about that? Says this writer. Check out his social
Shit
media
on
post.
a shingle.
Yeah. It says here, check out his social media post, but warning, contains a picture of said shit.
Poo. I like it better when we call it a poo.
A poo.
He took a poo.
He made a poo. Look,
We've been watching. We watched. I watched Cuckoo.
Oh, what do you
Boy,
think? What do you think of it? It's fun. I liked
It's
it.
fun. The first season's fun.
Mhm.
I only made it through half of an episode of the second season because I knew that from hearing about it, I knew that Andy Samberg wasn't in the second season, but I didn't realize they replaced Rachel as well, and that kind of bothered me. Even though they replaced her with the actress who's in that great show Trying that I recommended a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, she's good, but it throws you. You're right. That threw me too. I think the first season's better, but the guy that plays the dad is the whole show for me.
He's great.
He's
yes.
so good. He is just this like gigantic 6'7", idiot and comedian, and I love him. And he's good in lots of. He's been in other things, does stand up and other stuff, and he's great. But I don't
Oh, you know what? The poo thing actually more came up with Breeders, the thing that Nicole recommended last week, because we started watching that, and the kid comes out all the time and says, "I have to take a poo."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The British are better at this than we are.
Way better, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's cute when kids say a poo.
A poo, not a poo. The convenience, the racist.
No, that's why I've
convenience
been
store.
trying to say it very carefully, not to.
A poo.
Yeah, meanwhile, I'm sitting here with this picture of a turd on the roof.
I know this photo is horrendous. I'm not.
It really is.
I'm not showing it to the chat, but I really don't like it. He says this. Let's see. Where is it? Oh, there's a quote actually from him. I think it's on the
God, I
list.
hate. There's like this.
What?
It gives me more questions too. Like, did she take toilet paper up there with her? And then because there's no toilet paper with the poo, she brought the toilet paper back down with her when she climbed off the roof?
See, that is a really good question.
Did she she took a bag up there with her, poop, and then wiped her butt, and then put the toilet paper in a bag, I'm
I
guessing.
mean, some would say she just threw it up there. It's like dogs or something. But I would say that doesn't work that way, because how are you going to keep it in a nice little neat little package?
No, there's
there?
three. There's three in a pile. There's
Yeah.
she squatted.
So she either squatted or she went up there with the parts of the thing and assembled it. Right? She may have done that.
Yeah.
It's possible there was some assembly required. I don't know.
So, she really did make a little construction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of horrendous, though.
Yeah.
Here's the actual Stephen Amell quote. Our next door neighbor has been illegally doing construction for 3+ years. Cass got upset with her after we did everything we could to be neighborly. Cass called her out multiple times on Memorial Day weekend. The next day, she snuck under our roof and under our backyard and shit on our roof.
Like, it's funny because you know that Stephen Amell's Twitter feed is all like, here's scenes with me and Felicity, or
Yep.
here's a couple pictures with me off set with John Diggle and da-da-da-da.
Yep.
Now here's a picture of poop on my roof.
Exactly. A shout out, by the way, to Dan, my Tesla neighbor. It didn't get nearly this bad. So.
Yeah. Well, how have you been on your roof?
Oh, good point. Not since I last talked to him. I haven't checked.
Have you checked the roof, Scott?
So can you picture Arrow's Steve Amell up on his roof, scooping this out and getting rid of it?
Oh God.
Do you think he threw it back
He's
over
gotta
there?
have a guy for that.
He probably has a guy. Yeah. I don't know. He's not Mr. Hollywood. He's just got this. He had a good gig, but I don't know. What else is he in? That's pretty much it. Right?
He probably took a shovel up there and a little rake, like you do when you're picking up dog poop in the yard, and just kind of brushed it onto the shovel. And I bet he did. I would think he'd fling it onto their house.
I would if I were him after all this. I totally would.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see what else he's doing. Okay, he's in some show now called. Okay, he's in a short film in between this and then this new series called Heels, where he plays Jack Spade, and it's in pre-production. What the heck is Heels? Two brothers, rivals, one villain or heel in the ring. Oh, the other's the hero, the face. Okay, so this is that wrestling stuff. Vying for national attention in small town Georgia. I have no idea what the frick that is. Good luck to you there, Arrow. May you find justice one day. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Bill will be here to do a little bit of Bill Duran time. Also, Justin Robert Young to talk about the great mashup of Ted Cruz versus Ron Perlman using Jim Jordan after a feud with Matt Gaetz. Beep, 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 beep. So that's all coming up. Stick around. Before that, though, a song selection from Brian Ibbett and his vast collection.
Yes, this is brand new. This is a band called Lakes. They are from the UK, an indie rock band. They pulled together a new track featuring Dan Lambton, who is from the band.
Skeletor's spell may have imprisoned the Elf Lord and made you ruler of the forest.
Lady J sure has a flair for the obvious.
You dump the stream into the morning. This is the Morning Stream.
All right, welcome back. I love that. That was great.
Yeah, very. I forgot to mention they have kind of an old REM sound to them, and yeah, such great stuff.
Yeah, it was really good. I I will track them down and listen to more.
Yeah, why not, right?
Well, I often do that with the music you choose. It's pretty good stuff. Also, I never.
Once again, that was Lakes. Keep forgetting to do this. Lakes from their upcoming EP, This World of Ours. It Came Apart. It comes out the end of July, but that single's available now, and it's Kids featuring Dan Lambton. Okay,
nice.
Sorry.
Nice. I liked it. Okay, Bill. That's who. That's
Bill.
That's what we're doing now.
Bill.
He goes by
Bill.
Punished Props on this here thing I'm calling him on, so I got to make sure to do that right. And now I'll play this for him.
Your bat cave's open there, Bill.
It's Bill Duran all the way from the Pacific Northwest, doing what he does, doing it best, and doing it all the time. Bill, it's good to have you here, as it is every Tuesday. What's going on, man? How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing pretty good. Got my cup of coffee right now. Got a couple of fuzzy cats and a pretty wife in my living room here, so I'm doing great.
That's fantastic.
Perfect.
What
more could anyone ask for?
Exactly. That's a good combo you got going there. Yes. Hey, Bill, what's going on this week? Are you making stuff, or are you still making the world a better place?
I haven't really built much in the physical realm the last week. However, our third book is done and being printed and hopefully being shipped. We'll see.
Nice.
So that's kind of our big news, is that the third book that we've been working on for years is done.
It's another is it a sequel to the Foam Smith books?
Sure is. Foam Smith 3, all about helmets and headgear. And we're both Brittany and I worked very, very hard on it. We're super proud of it, and we can't wait to get it into people's hands.
Yeah, it seems exciting.
Cool. So there's that.
Yeah.
And then also, Brittany and I have been playing a lot of video games since we've been home a lot.
Yeah.
But the games we've been playing have a trend. The games we've been drawn towards, right?
Okay.
So let me see if you guys can figure out the trend. So the games we've been playing are games like Terraria and Astroneer, and most recently we started playing this new one called Minecraft.
Oh, it's the hot new thing, and no one's ever heard of.
Yeah, it sounds like some weird unknown indie game.
Yeah. So all of these games are games where you most of the time dig holes in the ground.
Yeah. Sure.
Like 90% of your time is just digging a hole in the ground, but the other percent of a time, or the other amount of your time, is spent building things, making things. In Terraria, you build houses and buildings, a little village for all your friends. In Astroneer, you build a little space town with equipment to process materials and build spaceships and fly to other planets. Of course, in Minecraft, you build whatever you want, because that's what you can do in Minecraft.
Yeah, that's true.
So these are the games we've been playing a ton of.
Nice. Did you guys ever get into No Man's Sky with all the recent stuff? That thing is such one of those now. Like there's
such a better game. Yeah.
So unfortunately, I played it right when it came out, and it was not very fun at all.
Yeah, it was kind of bad.
But
at launch,
recently I jumped back into it on the PlayStation with VR.
Yeah.
Just for a short bit, so that I could run around and fly in a spaceship in VR, and that was very, very cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. The VR implementation is very good, but overall, like the stuff. I mean, you could argue the game is now done, and it took them 3.5 years to get it done. But after launch, but it's so strong right now, man. That game's just full of so many things to do. You can build an undersea, like in the sea, you can build an undersea city that just goes on for miles.
Oh my god,
just amazing stuff. Yeah.
We were playing another game, Subnautica.
Oh, great game. Yeah.
Another similar one.
Yep.
That one you do similar things. You build undersea structures where you can build little. I can't believe I forgot about this game. It was only a week ago.
Yeah, that game's
you
rad.
can build submarines and equipment. It's so much fun.
Yeah, that particular game is really cool and also legitimately atmospheric in a way that it leaves an impression on you. Like, it's really something else. Like if you're freaked out about water though, like being underwater, it may not be your game. But
claustrophobia,
yeah,
probably same kind of thing.
Sure.
Whenever deep sea creatures, like I know that there's more to that game that we haven't discovered yet, and I know that we're gonna have to delve quite deep to find it.
Yes, no pun intended. But you do.
But you have to be brave, really, and just just dive that craft down way deeper than you should.
Yeah,
Anyway, that game is so much fun.
Especially in the survival mode. Like there's a creative mode where you can just kind of screw around, and that's fun too in a kind of weird, peaceful way. But if you're playing like oh no, I've crash landed on this planet, I got to figure out a way to survive. Like legitimately intense. There are moments.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, what am I doing in this place? Anyway, great recommendation. That's a good one.
So much fun. So anyway, most recently in the last few days, we've been playing Minecraft. Now I played it way back when it came out. But Brittany never really played it, so we both dove into it. And since the game came out, obviously, it has become this thing, right? Microsoft bought it for more than Marvel paid for Star Wars. That's where Minecraft is now. It's become this whole thing.
Yeah.
But what's amazing is what you can do in this world and what people have been able to create in it. Like entire cities. Like these giant, fantastical cities that people build from scratch by hand in Minecraft. Yeah. And then there's the whole like mechanical, electrical programming side of it. People have built functioning computers inside of Minecraft. It's so bananas.
Have you seen the not ATX? Whatever it's called. The NVIDIA the new lighting thing version of Minecraft. It's in. I think it's just in beta right now.
Oh no!
But it adds. RTX is what I meant. RTX support for ray tracing.
No, I haven't.
It is unfreaking believable. Wow. It is so like I'm actually going to care about Minecraft again because it is such a visual jump that it makes you realize that there's just so much you can now do with that. It's really something. Really,
we went in and we did installed all the fancy textures and shaders. So ours, my gameplay is not the default thing, and it does look. It's not that fancy RTX thing, but it still looks really, really fancy. So the water's all reflective, and there's like volumetric lighting. So you can make it even the stock game look just really, really cool. So we definitely did that. We're makers, so we have to customize everything. That's just how we work.
Yeah.
And the system too, like the whole system inside of the game allows for just a crazy amount of creativity.
Yeah.
So over the last few days, basically each day, whenever we play, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna make a silly goal for myself. So we built a house. You gotta have a house so you're safe from all the monsters. So we built that. I wanted to build a tower. I built a nether gate, so I built this giant stone tower, and I had to go get specific stone so it looks all pretty.
Yeah, of course.
And then yesterday I had a wild hair. There are these giant mushrooms everywhere, and you got to figure out you can grow them. So I figured out how to grow them, and I grew a huge pack, like a house-sized pack of giant mushrooms. And then I scooped out the inside, leaving the red spotted mushroom cap as my roof. And I built a Smurf house.
Oh man!
Like a giant mushroom Smurf house.
Awesome.
I gotta tweet a picture of it. I gotta tell you guys, I am so proud of this damn house. I spent hours on it yesterday, and it looks so cute.
Put it out there. I want to see it.
And that was the last time we saw Bill make anything tangible in the physical world. It was.
I'll tweet it in a little bit. I deleted the Twitter app off my phone to save my sanity. But I will tweet it later.
Yeah, it's a good idea. By the way, what you did there.
Yeah. It's a giant mushroom house, and I love it. I made a fireplace with smoke coming out of it. I made little panes of windows everywhere. I made a pond next to it.
Is it the kind of mushroom house that if you bit like a chunk off the wall, you might have like a trip? You might go on a trip.
Could be. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Depends on the mushrooms you started
So
with,
anyway,
I suppose.
I will totally tweet a picture of that later. And then the last thing is today, or at some point, I don't know. I may do some actual work today, but at some point. In Minecraft, I'm going to build a replica of my workshop and office. I think that would be a really silly, fun challenge.
Yeah, I love doing that. It reminds me back in the day when I was working we worked at this company, and the first version of Doom came out forever ago. It's like early 90s. I was like 21 or something. And the game came out, and it was just a demo form, but you could start building with like an editor. So you could start making your own stuff. And we made the exact replica of the building we all worked in, and then just deathmatch in that thing. Every night after work, we would deathmatch for hours and hours.
Oh, yeah.
That's fantastic.
It was so much fun to do that. And it looked doomy and crappy, but you knew the layout was right. The bathrooms had toilets. Like we had steps where steps were and all that. It was great. That kind of stuff's so much fun. So doing that in Minecraft is really cool. I love these projects where someone will recreate all of Azeroth in Minecraft. So you can just walk through what is essentially, a pixelated version of Orgrimmar, and that's so cool.
What did I hear about? It was Dragon's Reach from Skyrim. Someone recreated. I haven't seen it, but someone told me about it, and I want to go see that.
Oh yeah, that seems like your jam anyway. You love that.
And you know what else is really cool about like building my workshop is that in the game you can make a little table saw. You can make a little workbench, a loom, a furnace. There are tools, like workspace tools, and I'm going to build all of them and place them in my shop as analogs for all the tools in my shop.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right?
That's really cool.
Little 3D printer. No, there's no 3D printers in Minecraft yet.
No, there are 3D printers in Astroneer, though.
Oh, are there?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's as it should be. By the way, so we don't get any emails, I did a little checking. We're a little off on the math. Microsoft paid $1 billion for Minecraft, and Star Wars was $4 billion. So still 1/4 of a Star Wars is a lot of money.
That's still.
I don't know why I thought it was 4. I don't know why, but yeah, a crap ton of money.
It's a lot of money, a lot of cash. Either way, Notch made a lot of money, and then quickly became a little bit of a weenie. Anyway, well, that's great, Bill. I love that you guys are doing all these creative. I mean, this is obviously some amazing escapism, but for creators, even more so, because you just get to go be creative and do some cool stuff. And I don't know, especially with this RTX support, I'm more interested than ever in picking up Minecraft again. Weirdly.
Well, for me, for sure, being away from my shop, this is not the same as getting my hands dirty, but it definitely scratches that creative itch.
Yeah.
And yesterday when I started making that silly little mushroom house, it was like 5 p.m. and I was like, let's do this. And then I blinked. I came out of a fugue state. It was 11 p.m. and I was like, what just happened? I'm in a
Yeah.
It was so satisfying.
That's awesome. Well done. We'll tweet it soon.
Now we need to get you into Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, come build your island. You got terraforming now. You can do all kinds of cool stuff. You can do weird things like Brian did, where he covered his island and stuff so that his rocks would spawn where he wanted them to. You can go deep in these things.
The important things, yes.
Yes, the important things in life. As always, the important things of life can be found at punishprops.com, including the upcoming book, Foamsmith 3. Watch for that. Anything else over there you want to mention before we go? Or you got any links to take us out tonight or anything?
Sure. Just a quick recommendation. Our friend Jazza has been branching out and doing a lot of different type of creative stuff. He's been painting minis, Warhammer minis, and he did a video where he challenged himself and a friend to paint a tiny little mini using only his airbrush.
Oh, wow.
It was really fantastic and worth checking out.
Only his airbrush. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I should watch this because I have enough airbrush experience to know that sounds difficult.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, that's cool. Go check that out at Jazza, Jazza on not Instagram, freaking YouTube. You can find his account there and subscribe.
Oh, yeah.
Bill Duran, everybody. Punishprops.com. Chinbeard on Twitter for that photo later.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see you soon.
Later.
Bye now.
See you.
Bye. Okay. We did.
Yeah, having done a lot of airbrushing back in art school, I can't even imagine trying to paint a mini.
I know, right?
It's like...
Because he's going to have to do masking, but do it in ways that's like, what? Is he going to tape stuff off and then paint?
Yeah.
Like in something that small? I don't know. That seems like a lot of work, but this dude he always recommends seems like maybe he's up to the challenge. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Pretty impressive stuff.
Anyway.
Now this.
These are their stories.
Oh, I'm terrible with names.
Justin Robert Young joining us from Oakland, California, former home of the Raiders and now home of no NFL team. Hello, Justin. Welcome to the show. How are you?
That's what we're known for. That's
home
it's
of
on the
no
sign
NFL team.
It's on the sign when you drive into town. No, that whole thing. Former home of the Raiders, now home of no NFL team.
I mean, I have no room to talk. We've never had an NFL team here, so and we had to get our NBA team from New Orleans, so we got no room to talk. But I don't know. Do you guys miss them? There's no football season, so probably don't miss them. But like just the feeling of knowing you had this team and all these Raider heads getting all excited about a game and that sort of thing, or is that just not?
Scott, I kind of feel like there's been a lot on our mind otherwise. So maybe in a different world there would have been a lot of palpable distress.
Yeah.
But
It's literally the only thing I've been thinking about for the last 4 months, Scott, is the lack of the Oakland Raiders.
As it is right now, if the Raiders were here, they'd be unable to operate. So I think the fact that they're not here is kind of inconsequential at this particular moment, although I'm sure that'll change.
Yeah, people in Vegas are probably more bummed because they were all set to go, and now it's just like,
Well, I don't know. Is that stadium finished?
it's finished. It's ready to rock.
It is?
Yeah. So they were like,
Finished now. Took long.
took a while, but it's like ready, aim, ready, aim, ready, aim, and then when it's time to fire, they can't fire because freaking COVID-19 said hello.
Well, yeah. I mean, we'll see where it is.
Yeah.
But obviously, I think we're probably a little ways away from people going to live football games.
I never want to travel there on game day. I want to be there on game day. That's fine because I'm already, there. But getting there on game days, that's nightmarish. The hockey one's already hard, but the nights. So
But you'd be driving there, right? You wouldn't be flying.
Yeah, but I'm guarantee you the traffic is Vegas times 500.
No, Scott, you want to get there on game day.
Okay.
You want to get there on Sunday. What you want to avoid is Friday and Saturday.
Oh, all right. The lead up. Okay, because that's when everyone's getting there.
Everybody is coming up to Vegas. I mean, everybody leaves LA Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
Right? And then basically you're going to microwave 8 fight weekends that may or may not also have fight weekends. So if you've ever been to Vegas and you, especially for like a Cinco de Mayo fight or something, you just have the rowdiest people, or like a Conor McGregor or Ricky Hatton or something like that, where you have all the Irish and British people come out. Like, it is just, that is the weekend that people dream of when they're like, oh, we get to go to Vegas and have a crazy time.
Yeah.
Which means if you are not there for amateur hour, just get the hell out of Dodge, or stay at a place where you know that it's not just the vomit encrusted you want to go bro nonsense of a fight weekend.
Yeah.
So you just avoid MGM Grand, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah, just stay away from there. Well, that's on that end too, right? Where this new stadium is. So
yeah,
I don't know, man. Just sounds like nut house. I need to see how it goes before I.
Hockey crowds are pretty fun though, because by and large, hockey people are not necessarily super aggro. They're usually just happy to be around other hockey people.
Yeah.
Because it's either you're from Canada and everybody gets it, and you're in America and you're enjoying America, or you're from America and you root for a hockey team, and unless you're in like a few markets, you're not used to being around other hockey fans. So it's just like, it's fun that everybody kind of knows what you're doing, and like that little cove outside of the MGM. Or at the park, whatever they're calling it now, the old Monte Carlo.
Yeah.
That's like that corrals most of that crowd.
Yeah, that's a good point. It looks neat. The stadium's cool. I saw like a virtual walkthrough thing. It looked modern and badass, and I don't know. I was excited for it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I know for sure I would have had at least one Vegas trip that did not happen because of the TMS thing.
Yeah.
But I'm curious. I'm curious to see how many times I will go to Vegas by the end of the year, because I was at a good like 3 or 4 trips a year clip.
Yeah, easily.
It was particularly Ibid-esque. My Vegas consumption.
You were getting to my levels. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I was following in your footsteps.
Yeah.
Ever so more depressed into the ground with your colorful hats.
Yeah, Hawaiian shirts were next. Okay, now we're on the subject of Vegas is actually good. What if, based on some recent chatter, we could get actor Ron Perlman in one corner of the ring.
Hellboy actor.
Yeah. And on the other corner, a smack-talking Ted Cruz, not there to fight him, but to put Jim Jordan in to fight for him.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, doing it all to placate his friend Matt Gaetz, who Florida Representative Matt Gaetz, who is the guy that was calling out Ron Perlman in the first place. So for those that may hear this and go, what the hell are you talking about? There was a little bit of a Twitter fart about this where it started out as Matt Gaetz and Ron Perlman going back and forth. Perlman, kind of a loud, what would you call? I guess you'd call him a liberal, loud liberal. Matt Gaetz, a Trumpian right dude, and those guys fighting. And then Ted Cruz hopped in and says, big talk from Mr. Hollywood. I dare you to wrestle Jim Jordan, which is the weirdest flex. Mm-hmm. It's like me in high school going, oh, you want to fight, do you? Here, fight my giant friend. Like,
right.
It's just really lame. But anyway,
the jock I'm friends with, yeah.
There's no reality we exist in where anything like this ever happens, even for charity, right? There's no Ron Perlman versus Jim Jordan wrestling match for charity, right? Or
Not only will it not happen, you don't want it to happen. Like, this is as interesting as this gets, and trust me, it's very, very, very disinteresting. Yeah. Like, I mean, honestly, let's think of what this really is. Like, you have given it the sheen to make it sparkle, but really, it's Ron Perlman in his underwear looking like an actor and not Hellboy, on his phone, tweeting back and forth messages with Gaetz, who's a ding dong, and Ted Cruz, who is so famously Ted Cruz, it needs no more explanation, talking about a wrestling match in which an actor, and look, Ron Perlman's a bigger dude. I don't know exactly how tall he is because everybody in Hollywood is probably 4 inches shorter than you might dream they would be.
Yeah,
but
he's 6 feet, by the way, which is unusual. He's a little taller than your average Hollywood type, but he's not like 6'4".
Listed 6 feet.
He's listed 6 feet, and that makes him 4 inches shorter than me. So you're right. You're right to say this. Yeah, you're right to say.
And that we've brought this to fruition before once with Ted Cruz, right?
Yeah.
With Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, right. Yeah, the blobfish basketball battle. Yes.
Yeah. They had a basketball thing, and it was unwatchably boring and stupid. Like, so if what you want is a payoff where something is unwatchably boring and stupid, then indeed, this is here for you. Okay. The idea that Jim Jordan and Ron Perlman would roll around on. I mean, also, what's the other? Like, what do we really want? When have we ever been satisfied with? Oh my God, really built up to this amazing Greco-Roman wrestling match. I was so satisfied by the winner of the Greco-Roman Olympic-style wrestling match.
You're right. You're right. I would much rather see this in pro wrestling style, right? Like, give me story, give us hype, give us the heel and all that stuff. That's what I kind of want out of this. But then it would defeat the whole point, which is, both these. Well, I don't know. Like, wouldn't you, like a guy who likes this kind of fiery competition? You like some pro wrestling in your life. If they announced tomorrow that they were going to do this, but they played it like pro wrestling, no one's really going to get hurt. It's all just for show and some charity money. But in the end, it's going to be them, talking to whatever the equivalent of Mean Gene is now going, I'll tell you what, brother, I'm going to freaking blah, blah, blah. That would be great, wouldn't it? That'd be fun, sort of. Maybe. No?
No. Why?
No, it's way more fun.
I mean, what do we want? What do we want from this? Like,
I don't know.
What? Like, honestly, there are few things on the planet that I care less about than actors whose work I enjoy's political opinion.
Yeah, same. I don't really
And
care.
honestly, nobody does unless they happen to align with your political opinions, which they often do because actors are biologically wired to make sure that everyone in the room likes them.
Yeah.
So they pick the easiest stances that they possibly can, but then do also what actors are very good at, which is saying the popular thing in the coolest possible way. And that's what happens on Twitter. They generate impressions and heat. And so then the remora fish of Congress decide that they're going to siphon off that by playing to their crowd and saying, oh, I don't know, tough talk from a man who was Hellboy. I prefer a hell man, and whatever dumb stuff they say, and then it gets talked about, and I guess it means that we probably are maybe the nature is healing now that we're back to talking about this incredibly empty caloried nonsense.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I just found it to be a ridiculous exchange and thought it would be, interesting. Now, here's the question.
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat room suggested earlier that you mentioned on a stream that you might go to whatever the next Trump rally is.
This weekend, I'm going to Tulsa.
You're going to Tulsa. Wow. All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you freaked out at all about the numbers? Well, first of all, you got to sign a waiver that says I won't sue if I get the COVID.
Well, it depends. I have not gotten a result on whether or not I'm credentialed, so I do not know whether I will be in the building as of right now, but I will be in Tulsa to cover it no matter what.
Right. So if let's say you end up at the thing, you got to sign a waiver that says, if you get COVID-19, you're not going to.
I'm not going to sue.
You're not going to sue the Trump or his reelection campaign or whatever. If you. And then the numbers. If again, going off what we talked about last week, you got to be careful with these kind of numbers. But apparently, Oklahoma is on a major upswing of new cases, and it's out of the norm of. It's not just testing new cases, like they're having just higher cases in general, and they're having problems. Does that give you pause? Are you worried about that at all, or are you thinking just like, I'll wash my hands a lot, and like I'm curious what your own mindset is on that. And no judgment, because I think it's freaking brave and kind of rad that you would go, but I don't know how you're feeling. How do you feel about it?
I would prefer that I weren't in a situation like this to do my job. That's I think that goes without saying. But at the same time, you have to be realistic, and you have to continue to do the job that people want you to do. I think that there is a tremendous worth, and it has been borne out by the listenership, the feedback, and the Patreon support on politics, that people want an independent person that is there on the front lines of this election. I think that it has provided a point of view and perspective that is not being given by media, by mainstream media, if even just because I'm able to give people my perspective, for which people know me, without an editor's voice on top of it, without any kind of platform agenda, which happens fairly organically in media organisms. So I feel like I need to go there. It feels like news-wise, this is going to be the center of the political world, whether or not it is a medical disaster. And beyond that, I think that's all I need to go. Beyond that, there is the mitigation of what I'll do to not get COVID, and then there's also the the realities of, if I do get it, I'm at least young and healthy, and I'm likely to survive it. But I'm taking precautions, nonetheless, and I'm not going to be coming back to stay with my wife. I'm going to be in another hotel for another couple days on the back end of the trip here in Oakland. So, it's what I feel I need to do for my career, and the rest of it is just the steps you have to take to do it.
Well, I think it's cool. I want to hear how it goes. I hope it's not crazy. Like, I don't know what I even mean by that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you kind of hope it's crazy.
I hope it's crazy for that. That kind of crazy is fine, but I just mean I hope it's not the kind of thing where you end up in some kind of mosh pit without meaning to,
course.
or
Well, that's not going to happen. Again, I've covered
the old conservative mosh pit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've covered a Trump rally before, and it was perfectly fine. People there were pleasant. Even the folks that were booing the press pen, were very much it was performative. I think I would be the way.
I remember you describing that. That was the Vegas one, right? And you were you'd said that.
Yeah. And I would assume that this one, I'm genuinely curious about the energy, because on one hand, it's like this is a first, right? This is gonna be something where there's a lot of attention on it, but at the same time, it's in the middle of a pandemic, and people are going to be getting temperature checked and handed masks and given hand sanitizer as they walk in. So that doesn't normally scream party. So I could see an argument on it's going to be more boisterous than the last one I went to, or far less boisterous than the last one I went to, and maybe a little bit more subdued, and people will be a little bit more concerned.
I like that Fauci, Dr. Anthony Fauci, his recommendation was, he basically said a reminder that events like this, you're gonna feel tempted, if you're getting all riled up, to yell, to take your mask down and yell. He says, don't be doing that. Like, keep it on. You can still yell in there. Just remember that. That's a bad thing. If you remember that, you'll be in better shape. And I thought that was a good little bit of advice for those who might get a little excited.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think all of the questions and concern that you are expressing is the reason why I have to go. Right? Like that is the natural curiosity point in my field of expertise. And so, when it got announced, it seemed like a no-brainer to me. As I've gotten closer to it. To be honest, it's planning the coming back that's been more annoying.
Yeah.
Because I can't just come back. I do not have a apartment or home where I can effectively just quarantine myself. I have to get a separate location to make sure that I am away from my wife who has asthma. So like that has been more annoying, and that is more cost prohibitive. Just getting another location and all that.
Yeah.
How quickly can you get tested right when you get back, and that way maybe you're only in this hotel for a couple days? Or
that will be the goal. Oakland does have free testing, so I'm in the process of figuring that out. But on one hand, thankfully, I am able to book a test fairly easy. But as of yesterday, at least, they didn't have any for Monday, and that's effectively the first time that I'd be able to do it.
Yeah,
gotcha.
That's a little concerning. Well, all right. I wish you best of luck. And also, flights are like $14 now, right? Like super cheap.
Right. Yeah, getting anywhere right now is actually pretty inexpensive.
Yeah. So I assume you got a good deal. I hope you got.
It wasn't that cheap.
Oh, really?
Really?
Oh,
yeah. Well, Tulsa's, I guess, an annoying place to get to, and the hotel's still down. Sidon says it seems incredibly reckless and self-indulgent. I don't know if that's about me or Trump.
Yeah, have you not met Jury? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I don't think. Well, I hope they mean Trump, because I think that's reckless and self-indulgent, but I don't think covering it is. I think there has to be a balance there, and there also needs to be a balance of people with voices that aren't just yelling.
Sidian says no, I meant Jury.
Oh, he means Jury.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it self-indulgent. That's
No.
like I don't know. What is it like? I can't think of what it's like. I'll give it a bad. I'm terrible.
To be fair, it's like
It's reporting. I mean, it is
from my
honest
perspective. I
reporting.
mean, this is what I got my degree in. This is what I did before I was just a braying mule on the internet. This was my job, and going into places for which were dangerous, is just what an element of your personality you have to suppress if you want to go and be in a place where people want to hear about. Right. Like people want to have that perspective. That is the basics to me of reporting and journalism. So, but again, I am doing it as a personality. I'm not just a faceless reporter. I'm doing it as somebody that people can either trust or distrust. So if you think that I'm being a self-indulgent POS, then I guess you have a full a full centered idea of what you believe is my personality, and that's fine.
For me, POS stands for person of seriousness. I couldn't think of another S word, or P.
Yeah.
So this is as good as it gets. All right. Well, okay. Well, I'm excited. And you'll be doing like daily stuff. People able to check out what you're putting up and talking about and doing all that, all the usual places. Anything in particular they should watch for this week?
Well, yeah. Follow or subscribe to the Politics podcast. If you support this kind of stuff, then you can always head on over to takepoliticsseriously.com. And this is the totally self-funded. There are no sponsors, no advertisers on it as of now. So I do what I'm providing the people's correspondent. You guys are paying for it, and so I am doing it. Beyond that, just follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Justin R. Young.
Justin R. Young. You heard it here first. Justin, have a good one, man. We'll see you soon. Bye now.
Take care, Gerbs.
Oh, he had some weird things in his ear. I should have watched him take them out. He had
just like a little.
Well, normally I thought he had the little monitor
things?
Tom does, which is just the single one, but he pulled out two little units and they looked wireless. I want to know what those were. They looked cool. I want to know.
A little hurt by Sidian, man.
Sidian. Nobody wants to be told that they're being self-indulgent when they're doing a thing they know is dangerous.
Right.
Sidian's not being very nice, I don't think. It's okay, Sidian. Everyone gets their opinion. It's fine. All right, let's do this, Brian. Quick email from Corey. It's just a message. He says, hey, y'all are great. Thanks for the podcast. Aw, thanks, Corey. That's just nice. I just wanted to read a thing from Corey.
That was very nice. Thank you, Corey.
Yeah, you're the best, dude. And then a bonus mashup. Oh, yeah, it's Tuesday. You're getting a bonus mashup, Brian. If you didn't want one, tough poop. It's coming. Here
but
it
it's
is.
Tuesday.
I know
not
it doesn't
Monday.
make sense. It doesn't make sense. But this is the best of Scott's pronouncing things wrong. Part whatever we're on now. I don't even know, but it's fun to hear. So enjoy. Coming up on TS. It's the one thing you'd think I'd get right is the name of the damn show. bet.
Watiti, what's his name?
Tiki Wakatiti.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's quite right, but everyone knows who we're talking about.
Taika Waititi. Fixing Lacey Fockets. Jeez, Scott. The Tiki Wakatiti Time Bandits TV show coming to Apple's service.
Taika Waititi.
Talk about Wakatiti.
Taika.
Waititi.
Really not hard.
Benham Chaversadeh.
Gafarzadeh. Might be time to check the prescription on those gunners.
No, I can't read that word. Seema Chowdhury. That's a great name.
I think you did nail that one.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly how that's.
Seema Chowdhury. Has anyone checked Takiti Watitis, or how do you say his name? Oh, he played Khan Supa Hasapeta Pina Pon, or whatever his name was. Autophagy. How do you say that?
Autophagy.
Autophagy.
Yeah, I think you're putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable.
I feel bad about the last one. I didn't mean it to sound bad. But anyway, Jopoli Papadario, Jarpolono Falapio. That's it. Verlaine Laqueer.
It's Verlaine Laguerre.
Oh, it's not cute. It's a G, man.
Which is French for the queer.
The queer. Schmuck. Oh, this name. Samchan Chanthilapania.
Shantapanya.
All right. The 180 kids in this test were assigned to one of three condoms. Conditions. Scott, in the Tahuya Dini Basin of Morondibidi, West Africa.
Yeah, that sounds exactly right. Nailed it.
One-armed Mississippi. One-armed Miss Ohio. Iowa. Jeez! Let me back it up. Yeah, the alligator Mississippi penis. How do you say that? Alligator Mississippi penis.
Piensis.
Oh, Piensis.
Mississippiensis.
Taika Waititi. I'm gonna Waititi.
Yeah.
I have too much fun with it to change. I'm not going to change.
When you meet Taika,
you
can show him your dick of cards.
I forgot Tom did that. Mild-mannered tech reporter Tom Merritt.
Right.
Using the DIC word.
We could have actually had an entire one just of Taika Waititi. I mean, without the middle stuff in there's probably still more Taika Waititi pronunciations from earlier on that we could have thrown in there.
You're not wrong. There's another one tomorrow that is Brian singing a lot. So look forward to this, guys.
Oh, great.
Lots of Brian singing. That'll be tomorrow. As a bonus mashup from TMS Mashups Jamie tomorrow.
I'm just going to preemptively apologize to everybody.
I'd like to say sorry ahead of time. All right, we're going to take our leave. But before we do, a reminder that we are produced by the grateful help of you guys. You guys go out there to patreon.com/TMS. You contribute to the show's production, and we're able to make it as a result. If you want to look at all the cool things you get, go check it out. Even for as little as $1 a month, which is the very minimum Patreon even lets you make, you can get our bonus weekly shows, the TMS PM shows. We have one this Friday. So come on in, take a spin, jump around in your clothes. Wait, that's not the phrase. How's it go?
No, but that's good.
Come on in.
What do you
There's an old reference. There's an old saying. Come on in. Oh, come on in. Take off your skin and rattle around in your bones. That's what I meant to say.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I've ever heard that.
Never heard that one?
You know, come and knock on our door.
Come and knock on our door.
We've been waiting for you.
We've been waiting for you.
Where the kisses are hers and his. Three's company too. That I know.
I know it as well. It's been a long time. Anyway, patreon.com/TMS. Thanks for all your support over there. If you'd like to email us, themorningstream@gmail.com. I recommend using that one if you'd like a reply. If you're just going to send something mean and don't want me to reply to you, go ahead and use the form on the website because I can't reply to those because you don't send me your email address. So anyway, themorningstream@gmail.com is the place. Also, there's a new Fred and Can up today. It's a day late, but it's because it's the big finish to the story arc I was telling. And we're done with Tomato Gate. So if you want to find out what happened and how it all ended up, and catch up on all of it if you haven't seen it, check it out at fredandcan.com. That's fredandcan.com. It's a webcomic. I make it. We're 21 strips in. Who knows where it'll end. Okay. Brian, you got anything else to promote or push or talk about today?
No.
No?
Not today. No.
Okay.
Today's a nice mellow day.
Mellow day.
Yeah, gonna throw a soundography up. I don't know who it is, though. I don't know who the next one that I'm posting is. I can tell you in 5 seconds. I can tell you that it's gonna be Megadeth. The band Megadeth is the next episode of Soundography. What did Brian think of Megadeth? You might be able to guess.
You might be able to guess. There's some Megadeth I can deal with. Some of it, not so much. Anyway, Dave Mustaine and all those guys, right?
Yeah.
Dave
Mustaine. Dave Mustaine.
Yeah, Dave Mustaine to make Mustaine music. Anyway, so that'll be soon. And then also Coverville, of course, tomorrow we'll talk about that. All right, I think that's it. Let's get out of here. We need to play I guess it'd be a dedication or a song that someone requested or something.
Well, normally it would be, but this one is also one that I'm pulling out because it is a brand new release.